Something different. I didn't know that there was another better way. That was the only comfort I had. That was what I trained my brain to do. It was a terrible cycle that, really got kicked off with injuries in football. I played college football at Edinboro University of Pennsylvania, and I played for Webster out in, outside of Rochester, Webster Thomas Titans. And I got concussions during my football career, the normal little, injuries, knee, back, but I had that addiction gene or that addiction tendency right from the beginning. Whenever I drank, whenever I, smoked weed, I always liked it for the feeling. I wanted to escape reality, escape my anxiety, escape whatever. And when I got the chance to get, painkillers prescribed after my injury, I wanted to do the right thing, get back on the football field. I planned on taking them the right way, but it slowly progressed and got worse. Then I was snorting them, then I was going through my 30-day script in 15 days, and next thing you know, I'm sure everyone's heard different stories. I'm going out in the street buying Oxycontin or heroin and off to the races. At that point, it is, a lifestyle. It is I don't know, I have a hard time explaining it, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm giving excuses for someone who is suffering from addiction, but at the same time, so many people say, why can't you just drop it and just move on? It becomes part of the daily life. It is like insulin to a diabetic. That drug I needed it every day to function, to survive. If I did not have it, I could not do my day, anything. Go to work, there was nothing I could accomplish. So until that cycle is really broken, and even then, in recovery, I have to work on it every single day. There's not a day goes by that I do not have to work on my recovery. I'm a big fan of 12-step programs, AA, NA, things like that. That might not be for you, but I'm a big fan of them. But there's so many wonderful programs: SOARS, Orleans Recovery, Rock Recovery.
Gates to Recovery.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Gates to Recovery.
Gates to Recovery, all of them. So many I don't even know about, to just get involved. That was my biggest thing with recovery, is when I was first in recovery, I had this energy and this passion that I couldn't put anywhere. And, I work at a restaurant, which is great, and I like my job, but it's not very, fulfilling. So that's why I started the website, soberdogs.com, because I was shying away from my past. I was in prison, I'm a felon, I'm a heroin addict. And I'd see people from from high school at the store, and, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Oh, I'm good. Where you been? I lived out of state for a little bit. It was this big embarrassment. And I'm like, you know what? Screw that. I want to use my past as a benefit to try to help people. So I try to put a good mix of research, and first-hand experience. Because my parents are here, and they're my biggest supporters in the world. And neither of them suffer from, this terrible disease of addiction. So they say, if you ever need to talk, if you're having a craving, tell us. And the hard part is, if I do, they don't get it. And that's not any knock on them or their fault. It's just, that's why sponsorship and programs and Rock Recovery, SOARS, Gangster, these programs work so well because you could talk with other people who've been through it, who understand. A gentleman once told me, he was trying to explain to my father about addiction. He said, if there's three of us sitting at a table and, Bob does a bag of dope and falls on the floor and overdoses, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And he was asking my father. And my dad said, we got to get Bob help, but that's poison. I would never touch it. Exactly. The first thing that comes to my mind as an addict is, wow, that shit's good. Where do I get it? And that's terrible. But that is the truth. And I don't like sugarcoating recovery and addiction, because telling the truth is what helps people. That's where my mind goes, and that's what I gotta work on every single day to stay out of that and avoid it. In the medical community, I think it's wonderful. We need more doctors, researchers, all that. But where I had a hard time is if I went to the doctor and he's telling me about, how I'm feeling and different things with addiction. And I'm like, well, you know what, doc, you're right, and you know with the medicine, but you don't really know, you don't understand exactly what I'm trying to tell you, couldn't relate. So this, back to what I was just saying, where the sponsorship and the programs are so wonderful, is when I sit with somebody who is in recovery, even someone in active addiction, they get me, I get them. Our crazy minds kind of link up and connect, and we can understand a little bit. It's the same concept as, programs where, grieving loved ones sit with other grieving loved ones and they can relate, if they lost somebody. We can connect on a level that's just, a little bit different than the quote outsider. And I'm just so glad to see wonderful people out here. Wayne, thank you so much. Anything we could do for recovery, anything to help out for recovery, is just, we got to do it. It's up to us. No president, no government, and no police department. Like you said, I worked with and talked to Sandra Dorley, the DA in Rochester, and Sheriff Todd Baxter. They're the first that'll tell you, we can't arrest our way out of this. We can't legislate our way out of this. This is a community problem. This comes from every angle. Teaching, parenting, just everything. Everybody talking to everybody, working together and try to help out. And whatever you could do, anyone struggling, just lend an ear. Be there for them. Don't, jump to conclusions or judge them based on something that may have happened in the past or based on their past in general. I try to use my past as a benefit instead of something that weighed me down for so long and that I shied away from. I got to give a little plug to my site. Check out soberdogs.com. I do try to put a ton of, accurate first-hand addiction information on there. That's my goal. If you come and you look at something, you could say, wow, I didn't know that's what somebody suffering, thought of, or that's how they did this or that. Because I want people to see it from every angle so that they don't just, see what's in, the news or whatever and have one set view on it. This is such a three-dimensional problem we really got to attack.